Hi gardening friends, I'm jumping on to do a Q&A today. So these might be some of the questions you have about our products. I'm doing it as a live video because I talk way too long, so I'll have to do it as a live and post it as a post. So thanks for anyone jumping on live today. So I'm just going to go through some of the questions that you may have and then comment any questions that you think of as I talk through them. So Henley's Rustics. So we have a variety of sizes in garden beds and wicking beds. So when it comes to sizes, so basically in our garden beds we have circles and we have ovals. So with our circles, with all our range, you have either 30 centimeters high, which is half height, and then we have a full height garden bed, which is 68 centimeters high. Our sheets of iron that we use are 68 centimeters, so that's why we can't go any higher than 68 centimeters. So that's as high as we'll ever go. So I'll show you some of my garden beds to show you the difference, but they start off as a 70 centimeter diameter circle, and then we can go up to 1.4 diameter circle. And then you can have half and full height in that. And then our ovals, they start at 1.7 meters long, and then we go up to 2.4 in our ovals. So this is where it gets a little bit trickier. So we have a standard garden bed range, which basically means it has no bottom. It means you need to water with a hose, or you need to set up an irrigation system to keep your garden beds watered. We also have a wicking bed range. So what this means, they come with a bottom. It's a waterproof reservoir, and basically it's a garden bed that waters itself. You fill up the bottom reservoir with water, and the water rises up and it keeps the soil damp that way. So on our website, we have the whole range, but when you're looking at our range, we do have some set sizes for standard garden beds and some set sizes for our wicking bed. So when people are ordering, I talk them through basically your circumstances. So if you're choosing a standard garden bed or a wicking, for example, if you're good at setting up irrigation systems, you may only need standard garden beds, or if you love watering your garden every day, you may only need standard garden beds. People that tend to go to wicking beds, they are water efficient. You rarely need to water it because it waters itself. So people that have busy lifestyles, sometimes they go on a lot of holidays, they're not home often. A lot of farms are buying wicking beds because they're a lot more water efficient. You're just filling them up, the bottom reservoir, and then topping up as required. Schools are picking wicking beds because school holidays, they're 2 weeks in the school holidays, so there's a long period of time without people able to water. So I just say it's your circumstances. Like I have standard garden beds in my front yard and I need to water them every day because I don't have an irrigation system set up. When I move to Wagga at the end of the year, I will be buying wicking beds because I do travel back to Wungari a lot, and just having that peace of mind that the soil is always damp for optimal growing. So look, it's each to their own. There is a price difference obviously with the wicking beds because there's a lot more hours put in to make it a wicking bed and all the resources that come with it. But if you're not sure if you want to go standard or wicking, just call me. Like I had a customer last night, she was going to buy standard, and she's on a farm and they have limited water at the moment, and she ended up picking wicking beds. So there's our products. So on our website, when you go to our website, it's like basically a library of products. You actually can't order on our website, and the reason for this is because we don't deliver to certain states and certain towns. So basically you look at your little list and you choose what you want, and then you just contact me to place your order. So you can call me, you can text me, you can email me, send me a messenger, Insta, all those methods of communication will come through to me. And then what I do is get your delivery address, contact number, and I'll let you know what date we're going to be delivering to your town and your home. So we do deliver to home. So people say, where's the meeting point? Our meeting points are for the people, for example, in Wagga, we have a meeting point in Wagga. For example, people travel from Tumut. So that's why we have meeting points for people coming from towns that we just can't get to. But if you're in a town that we deliver to, we will deliver to your home or your school or your farm. If you're not home, people ask this all the time, I can't do that date. That's no problem. You just leave us instructions somewhere safe to leave your garden beds, and I just let Dad know those instructions of where to leave them. So you don't need to be home on delivery day. They come assembled. So like other products, you might get a box and you have to put them together. Where Dad, he hand makes them, they come assembled and deliver them as whole. So all then you need to do is put in your soil that way. So when we get to talk about standard and wicking beds, they're completely different ways you set up your garden bed. So with standard garden beds, for example, this is a standard garden bed. Down the bottom of this, I have logs, and then on the top half, I have soil. So basically they suggest using logs and decomposing materials down the bottom because you don't need 68 centimetres of soil. It's just a waste. So really you only need 30 to 40 centimetres of soil on the top half. With a wicking bed, it's completely different because it's a self-watering system. You need some kind of a medium down the bottom to wick that water up into the soil. So you use rock. So it's either blue metal or scoria, and the size of the rocks are about 7 to 10 mils, like they're teeny tiny, and then that has a pool of water and the rocks down the bottom, and the water wicks its way up into the soil. So they're two different ways of setting them up. So if you are buying a wicking bed, they come with setup guides, and I help you through that process. It comes with a kit. So if you're buying a wicking bed, you will need to buy your rock and your soil and a mulch for the top. If you're buying a standard garden bed, you're just going to need to buy your soil. So with our prices, so with our standard range, they start from $80 for a small circle, and the most you'll pay for a 2.4 oval is $320. So that's for the standard range. With our wicking beds, because it's just so much more time and materials put in there, our circles, this isn't a wicking bed, but if it was a wicking bed, they start at $300, and our 2 meter oval, which is our biggest wicking bed, is $520. So yeah, they're the prices, but if you look on our website, all our sizes and our prices are on there. With delivery, there is a cost per item. So for a circle, that's like $15 for delivery. And then if you, most of our ovals are $20 to $30. And for our big wickings, they're $40 because they take up more room on the trailer, and we can't use like a stacking method with those. So when you order, I'll let you know your cost and the delivery cost as well. So durability, people ask us about this. It's corrugated iron. So all our corrugated iron is basically sourced from old farms. It's 80 years old. It's galvanized iron, so it's got longevity. We can't guarantee an exact time, but we just say 20 plus years, just to, like, they probably last a lot longer than that, but we say about 20 plus years for longevity of your garden beds, but they most likely will last a lot longer than that. With corrugated iron, you do get opinions about, because a lot of people have timber garden beds, and there's a lot of discussion about like what like using corrugated iron as a garden bed, what that does with the weather. So the corrugated iron, it does heat up. So in winter, they say it's brilliant because it keeps your bed nice and warm. It gives that extra warmth. But the bit more of a con of that is in summer, they heat up. So I just always say, give yourself extra room. If you're planting your summer crop, don't put seeds right up to the edge. Like, give yourself, a bit of a space between that garden bed edging, and just always keep, your soil damp, because that lowers the temperature of your soil. With your wicking bed, you won't have issues with that, but it is something to keep in mind. Some people prefer timber, and there's pros and cons of that, and there's pros and cons of a corrugated iron. So I just wanted to be upfront and let you know that the views around that. So that's our material. So what else have I got written here? I've gone through how to order. So with our edging, so you see here, because obviously a lot of you garden with kids, if you've ordered garden beds up until this point, you would have received a poly pipe top to stop yourself from cutting yourself. We've just bought this fancy little machine from an old tank maker in Gunning. We actually bought a new roller from him. And also we've just bought an edging machine. It's like a folding machine, I think they called it, where they just fold the top edge over on itself. So we won't be using polypipe tops anymore. We'll be using this folding machine just to fold that over so there's no sharp edges. If you got any questions, I will post this as a replay so you can watch the start of it as well. But basically, yeah, so Dad's in Hungary. He hand makes them. He's now got a team. He's got Kerry and Katie helping him. So they hand roll them. They go and gather the corrugated iron from an old farm. They roll it into the shape that you order. And basically, we make to order. So you'll provide me your order. I'll let you know when we're going to be at your town and delivering to your home. I let Dad know your order, and then he'll make it. Now that we have a team out there, it's very exciting for Dad, because he was like under the pump at times trying to get all these orders out. We're actually for the first time able to get stock. So I've had heaps of messages of late saying, what have you got in stock? Can I go to Hungary and pick up some garden beds? And for the first time I'm able to say yes, Dad does have some sizes on hand. So you're always welcome to go to Hungary to collect all year round. But with our other towns we deliver to, because we deliver in loads, there's a certain date we deliver to your home. So for example, we deliver to the Central West. We have just done half the Central West last week, and in 2 weeks we're doing the second half. So I'll let you know exactly when we'll be at your home. So we get to the Central West about every 2 months, and then on the opposite month we get to like the ACT region, and we call that the Canberra load. But we stop at all the towns along the way. So you've got like Temora, Hardin, Young, Borowa, Yass, Murrum Bateman, Gundaroo. So we call it Canberra, but it's on one load. So Dad just stops off at all your homes on the way. With our Central West load, we've had to split it because we just had way too many orders for one load. So that is like your Bathurst, Orange, Grenfell, Cowra, all those towns around there, and we've just split that. So we'll be doing Dubbo, Warren, Molong, Wellington. So if you're not sure about your town, just message me and I'll let you know what load you will go on. If we don't deliver to your town, for example, we've just added Warren for the first time to that load, and we're delivering to 10 towns out there. So we can always look at your town. If it's just further out of our delivery range, maybe we can do a bigger loop to include you. But the strategy though is, if we just can't get to your town, we'll make a meeting point where you can come and collect with a trailer or a ute or whatever it is, and come and pick up your items from Dad. So Mum and Dad are the ones that go out and deliver. So Dad makes them and he also delivers them. So it's we just monitor all the process, and Mum goes out with Dad on most deliveries as well, or Kerry's been out there a couple of times as well. So the best thing is, like, I know it seems really manual handle, like why can't you just order online? It's just so complex with the towns we deliver to, the dates we deliver to, and really we just want to make sure you're supported through the whole process. And if you've been following us for a long time, you know that I just we all do. We really care about the customer's experience, and the feedback we get from customers just saying how much they appreciated Mum and Dad delivering their garden beds and how joyful they are, and they've loved the support from myself with the ordering process. Like, we just really want to make sure you're really feeling the love and supported. So what I've also created is a Facebook group for our customers. So it's basically a little gardening group with all your little Henley Rustics customers, and you've got some experienced gardeners and some brand new beginners, and I'm just trying to show tips, and gardeners, well, customers are able to share what they're up to in the garden. So it's kind of like that aftercare. So it's not like you're just buying garden beds, you go into the store, you don't know who made them, whatnot. It's like, you know where they've come from. You've supported like sustainability by choosing our products. You've supporting a little family business, and it's just providing that a lot more connection and community. So I guess that's really like what sets us apart from other products. And look, whatever you do to be in the garden, like I'm not here just saying choose our garden beds, but choose timber. If it's easier just to go to an outlet and buy your own, like whatever's going to get you into the garden, like, you know, if you're following along, it's just nice to have you here. But if you buy our garden beds, it's extra special. So I think no one's put in a question, so I think I've covered most things. I'll get off the call and I'll think, oh, I forgot to mention that. But I'm just going to do a quick little tour around my property. Any Griffith loads coming up? Yes, on the 17th of April. So, Dad, sorry, I've missed thanks for bringing that up. I did miss you guys in Griffith. So we have a Griffith load, and that includes Griffith, Leeton, Narandra, Yenda, all those towns around there. We do that once a month. So the next time we're in Griffith will be the 17th of April. And I've just missed a town out there. Oh, I forget. If you go onto my page, I've got like the load, each of the loads and all the towns that are listed underneath. So there's about 80 towns we deliver to, so I can't rattle them all off. But if you're not sure about your town, please reach out. And I do have towns listed on our website as well. So I'm going to do a little tour if you want to hang in here and have a look. Now, obviously, I'm in the middle of putting winter veggies in, so things aren't looking very vibrant at the moment, but that's the reality of it. So I have standard garden beds, and I have one wicking bed. When I move to Wagga, I'll be getting wicking beds. So I'll do a little tour. Yay, pop in an order for Yenda. Beautiful. We'll touch base after this, Emily. Please, send me a little message, because we get to Yenda every month. So I've got circles. So this is our full height circle. So like I said at the start, we either do half height or a full height. And you can just see, if I can just show you, like you probably can't, my garlic is just popping up in there. So that's exciting. So with your ovals, so this is a 2.2 oval, and you can see mine's half height. So the most popular are full height. People choose a full height. You don't have to bend down as often is probably the biggest reason. I'm short, I'm 5 foot, and I've got tiny kids. So the half height for me is really perfect. So I've got 6 of those in my front yard. I'm a family of 3, and I think that's a perfect amount for me. I know people have a lot more and a lot less. So it's just really looking at someone was just calling me. So it depends how many veggies you eat. Like, I'm a vegetarian, so we eat a lot of veggies. If you just want to play around with a couple of garden beds, and it's funny how many customers are repeat customers, because they get a couple and then they're ready to get more, and then more and more. So we've got people that are up to like their 4th order. So it's no problem. Start with 2, start with 1, and we can get you on the next load. Can you out carrots the round one? Can you plant out carrots in the round one? Maybe that you're going to ask that. Yep, I put carrots in my round ones. So if it's got dirt, it will grow. So I have had carrots in here before. In here, I'm going to be doing more root veggies. I've just got a couple of tomato plants still in this one. Eggplant. So these are all, so then you can have, like, people do into, like, you know, obviously growing flowers. So you can have ones just for decoration. Like, this is just a decoration one. So that is 90 centimeters diameter by 30 centimeters high. This is my one wicking bed that I have. I've only got one, and it's 80 diameters by 68 centimeters high. We actually have mini wicking beds as well, which are great for like strawberries, and you could do root veggies like beetroot, and so we have a whole range of wicking. So you can see here it's got its little overflow pipe, and so if it ever gets too much rain, it just drizzled out, and I just water down that pipe to fill up the reservoir, and I haven't watered that, I haven't filled that up since months ago. It rarely needs topping up, and I don't really top it up in winter because it catches all the rain, where all these guys I'm watering every day. And if I was to stay here, I probably would set up an irrigation system, because it's like if you miss a day, you know, your plants start to suffer. So this is another 30 centimeter high one. You can see all my garlic is starting to pop up in here. So 30 centimeters high there. These are a great little height as well. I'm just going to take you around the back. See, look, it's all preference. People plan out their garden beds. They might have some ovals and they might have some circles. I'm going to walk quickly. Any other questions? Put them through. Just trying to see if anyone else has got anything. So filling up an oval, when you pre-fill your garden beds, it is only like a time-consuming thing. Oh, this has happened. It's in my backyard. I'm going to stop right here for a second. So you can see I've got an oval. That's full height there. It's a standard one. So down the bottom, it's got logs. So like, and it's like during winter's a great time to purchase because you can gather all your leaves. I'm not going to go any further, but I've got like a blueberry one here. Yeah, so any questions, reach out. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little Q&A about our products because there's lots of questions. See, I've got little decorative ones there. I've got a lot of decorative ones out the back. I've got a succulent one here. That actually is a 60 centimeter diameter one. It's tiny. I knew this was going to happen. I've got flowers in one down here, herbs and another one. So the benefit of doing a raised garden bed instead of directly into your ground is basically you have the opportunity to put the soil that you need to grow veggies or flowers. So for example, my whole backyard is very clay based soil. So if I was to build a garden bed directly into the ground, I would probably have to remove a lot of soil or build up on it. And I've tried to grow plants in here and they keep dying because it's so clay based. So the benefit of a raised garden bed is obviously you don't need to bend down as much, and then you can just put the good soil you need in to have successful veggies and plants. So I've learned that the hard way is about soil is your number one thing. So, and all organic products. So anyway, thanks for joining in. I hope that's answered some questions, but always reach out with any questions because I'm here to help. And yeah, happy customers is my number one priority, and making sure you all feel supported. So there we go. That was a little bit longer than intended, but that happens. All right. Thanks everyone for joining me in the live. Appreciate you all.